Lesson 112, we're going to look at quadratic inequalities, the less than side. So we're looking to graph this quadratic inequality. So it gives x plus 2 times x minus 3 is less than 0 and gives us a domain of real numbers. Okay, so what we know is we want these two products to be less than 0. So what we know it has to be is negative. So there's two different ways we can try this. We can look at x plus 2 and say this is negative times the positive. Okay? So what I mean by this, if we want this to be negative, we would say less than 0, greater than 0. Because once again, we need a negative and a positive. So if I solve this out, we would get x, because we would subtract 2, is less than negative 2. And we would get x, because we would add 3, is greater than positive 3. Okay? Now I'm going to hold it here right now. Okay, there's one option. We're going to come back to that. So that's me making x plus 2 negative and the x minus 3 positive. Well, we can also switch that. We can say x plus 2 needs to be positive, and x minus 3, and x minus 3 needs to be negative. Because once again, we need their products to be negative. So that's why we have one positive, one negative. So when we solve, if we want this positive, so that'd be greater than 0, less than 0, positive, negative. So we say x is greater than negative 2. As well as x is less than positive 3. Okay. So again, we have these two options here. Now we got to see which one actually works. Okay? So let's look at option A over here. It says x is less than negative 2 and x is greater than 3. Well, there's no one number that you can plug in that works for x in both of those. So since there's no number that you can plug in, that one would not work. Let's look at x is greater than negative 2 and x is less than 3. Well, we do have numbers that would work for that. For example, 0. If x was 0, that's greater than negative 2, and 0 is also less than 3. So when we graph this on our number line, and if I wanted to write it, I could say negative 2 is less than x is less than 3, kind of for my solution. So if I'm graphing this, okay, I can put an open circle on the 3, close it there, shade in between, and that would be what my graph looks like. And that is all you do to graph quadratic inequalities.